What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Universal Mastery. Welcome back to my public YouTube channel. Now, if you're new, let me give you a little bit of an understanding of exactly what I do here. What I do here is I break down the occult sciences and I break them down to a very practical degree so that you can simply use them and apply them in your day-to-day life and get real, actual results with what it is that I'm teaching here on my public channel, simply by applying your observation and awareness. Very easy to do, okay? Now, once again, I also know there are a lot of reoccurring viewers, so welcome in. But once again, if you are a new viewer, which I know there's also a lot of new viewers as well, let me give you a little bit of a perspective on who I am, just so that you know who you're getting this information from. My name is Jeremiah Schwartz. I am a professional occultist. I am fully initiated in the entirety of the Kabbalistic tree. I'm studied in regards to the 22 major arcana that are also associated with that same tree. And I'm also studied when it comes to planetary energies in direct association with astrology. Okay? So with that being said, what is the topic of our today's video? I'm sure you know generally based on the title of this YouTube video. I'm going to be talking about the benefits of the Qlippoth. Okay, so for those of you that don't know what the Qlippoth is, you obviously have some research to do in regards to my YouTube channel, because I discuss through many videos that I have exactly what the Qlippoth is, and also a lot of nuance and even advanced information in regards to the Qlippoth and what it really is and what it represents. But generally, the Qlippoth is the darker side of the Kabbalistic tree. Okay, so I know personally I've made a lot of videos that have covered the seriousness of the Qlippoth and how dangerous it is for people that are actually going to be initiating into it, as well as discussing what it truly does to you and what it does for you in regards to your own evolutionary progress. Okay, but in this video, I'm primarily going to be focusing on the benefits of the Qlippoth, the things that you gain that are going to be valuable psychologically, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Okay, so if this is something that you're interested in, then definitely stay tuned. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so here we go. So when it comes to the Qlippoth, as I've mentioned many times over, this is an initiatory system and an initiatory structure that is primarily for advanced occultists who are really taking their evolutionary progress seriously. Okay, this is something that I've made very clear on many different types of videos. So I just want to make sure you understand that as you're listening to this, just so that you have the opportunity to receive this information before you decide, hey, okay, after listening to this video, I'm going to go and initiate myself into the Qlippoth, or I'm going to figure out how to initiate myself and then do it. Okay, so just consider the beginning of this video and the seriousness of what Qlippothic initiation really offers. Okay, so with that being said, now let's go into some of the benefits that you gain within the Qlippoth. Now, first thing first, what I'm going to be speaking about and mentioning within this video is not even a sliver of the totality of all of the different benefits that are offered within Qlippothic initiation. Okay, I'm literally, although I'm going to be mentioning a couple, this is only going to be a sliver. Okay, not even a sliver. This is just going to be minuscule value, minuscule benefits that you'll be able to notice as you're successfully initiating through the Qlippoth. But the main point is to understand there are a lot of other benefits as well, a lot of benefits that you can receive and gain and develop within yourself that are not going to be mentioned in this video. Okay, it is a very dynamic initiatory system. So with that being said, what are some of the benefits that come to my mind that I'm going to be sharing in our today's video? Well, first thing first, the Qlippoth is a form of accelerated evolutionary growth, okay? Why is the Qlippoth a form of accelerated evolutionary growth? The reason why is because when you're dealing with the Qlippoth, you are primarily dealing with the deep unconscious and subconscious of your own mind. Now, you're also dealing with very violent and destructive energies in their nature. So naturally, when you are approaching Qlippothic types of energies, they are going to test you and they are going to challenge you to degrees that if you're not able to be receptive to, you will degrade. You will literally end up being destroyed within your own rights. Now, here's the good part. The part of you that you want to be destroyed, the part of you that you essentially want to die to, is the part of yourself that is not serving you. It's the illusionary aspects of who and what you think you are. Those are the parts of yourself that you want to shed. Those are the parts that you want to allow be destroyed when you enter into the Qlippoth. So you could think of it from a general perspective. Your ego will be destroyed, and it will be destroyed many times over. Okay, now obviously, is this a comfortable experience? Absolutely not. But the more you're dealing with Qlippothic energies, the more you're destroying your sense of self-identity and your sense of self-importance, as well as all the illusionary things that you perceive within yourself that are not really based in your evolutionary growth, as well as all the illusionary things in your environment, your physical environment that you're attached to. As these things are being destroyed, once again, if you're receptive enough, you're going to eventually realize that this death process is very valuable for your evolutionary growth. So literally exactly that. The more you go through ego death, the more you go through sense of self identity death, the more opportunity you have to be receptive to what's underneath of your sense of self identity, or what's behind your ego, so to speak. And this is where you start to understand more about your soul, more about your spirit. And this is also in connection to why many people say, many ancient traditions say, the soul is feminine in nature. It's because the soul, in order to get in touch with the soul and have proper communication with the soul through the intuition, you have to be receptive. Now, if you have a strong sense of self-identity and you have a really strong ego, and you're always identifying with things and attaching to things, it is much harder to be receptive, okay? Therefore, you're lacking feminine capabilities within yourself. You're lacking the ability to tap into the feminine aspect of your own energetic being, which is not going to serve you whatsoever in the Qlippoth when you're going through Qlippothic initiation. So once again, as you are going through the Qlippothic initiations and you are processing the destructive energies and the excruciating challenges that you will be put through within the Qlippoth, there's a couple things that are taking place. First and foremost, what I mentioned is you're accelerating your evolutionary growth. Okay, literally on a soul level and on a spirit level, you're able to evolve much more effectively and much more efficiently because you're dealing directly with dark energies, chaos energies, destructive energies that are naturally, obviously challenging you. And just like any success story you've ever heard from anyone who's successful in life, they all have upbringings or they all have journeys where they went through hardship, journeys of rough experiences, challenging experiences. And there's a pattern behind that. There's a reason why any person that you know that has success, however you want to define success, I define success in regards to someone who's doing what they love to do, is satisfied with what they're doing, and is able to create freedom in regards to their lifestyle and in their behaviors with what it is that they love to do, and also in alignment with their own evolution. Okay, this is what I define success as. Any single person that has success has to go through some sort of Qlippothic energies in order to initiate themselves to then being able to have the level of success that it is that I just defined in regards to freedom, satisfaction, and evolution. Okay? So the point is when you're dealing directly with the Qlippothic energies, in the midst of going through the initiations, it's challenging, it's excruciating. But as you're successfully moving through the initiations and you're starting to understand what these lessons are teaching you, as these energies from the initiations themselves start to integrate into your physical body and energy field, it's changing you on a cellular, genetic, and microbial level. It's changing you completely. This is a real form and a real dense form of alchemical change that's taking place within Qlippothic initiations. Now, once again, since you're dealing directly with primal chaos and you're dealing directly with these catalytic energies, these chaos energies, these destructive energies, you are naturally learning lessons that the average human being does not allow themselves to learn. The average human being distracts themselves away from Qlippothic energies. They try to pretend that it's not there. They try to pretend that it doesn't exist. They try to attach to things and identify with other things that make them feel better and feel good because they're so concerned with their immediate feelings rather than embracing the dark energy, embracing the challenge, going through the initiation and allowing it to change you and then overall serve you in the long run. So this is the evolutionary value that you gain from Qlippothic initiations, is essentially hyper accelerated evolutionary growth. Because once again, you're dealing with dark destructive energies that are negatively charged in nature that are going to flesh out instant transformation within yourself on all levels, all senses as well. Okay? And it will teach you things about yourself and about the world around you that most people do not even have the opportunity to learn. Because once again, most people with their own free will of decision are not choosing to embrace dark energy for what it really is. And therefore, because of that choice, they never get the value that dark energy has to offer. Okay? So with that being said, that is one of the benefits you gain within the Qlippoth. Okay, accelerated evolutionary growth. Now, let's also move into another benefit that is actually connected with that. So as I was mentioning, you go through a cellular, genetic, and microbial transformation as well when you're going through Qlippothic initiations. Your entire genetic code is starting to change. You're starting to literally become a different energetic being, we could say a different entity than the majority of the mass collective. Okay? So the majority of the mass collective are in some sort of middle place, energetically speaking. They don't know if they're positive, they don't know if they're negative, they don't know they have a spirit, they don't know they have a soul. Okay? They're just in the middle. They're still trying to figure out why they're here. Most people think, after they die, there's some mystical heaven that takes place and there's a God that rules over that heaven and decides if they go to heaven or hell. And then there's a lot of people that think that when they die, it's just blank space and there's no more existence for them, as if they didn't have a spirit or a soul. And both of these perceptions are false. Okay, both of these perceptions, let me say it again, are false. Okay, everyone has a spirit, everyone has a soul, and everyone is evolving to some degree. So the majority, the mass collective of the human species is in the middle place, not understanding what their evolutionary role is because they don't know that they're primarily here to evolve on a soul and on a spiritual level. Okay? But then there's some individuals that are starting to grasp what their evolutionary role is, whether it's the positive polarity, service to others, or whether it's the negative polarity, service to self. Okay. So as I was saying, when you're going through Qlippothic initiation, you are transforming your energetic structure to be predominantly service to self. And when I say service to self, what I'm referring to is service to the source within yourself, basically serving yourself because you're aware that you are the source. And these are conscious perspectives or these are perspectives that I'm sharing that you may not be conscious of when you begin your initiations or your journeys through the Qlippoth. These were things that I didn't understand going into the Qlippoth, but I learned going through the Qlippoth. So I'm just sharing these perspectives as someone who is initiated, who understands these concepts. Okay, so that's some of the value you get for listening to this content. But, you may not fully understand what I'm saying until you experience it yourself. That's just mainly what I want to say. So as I was saying, you change completely on a physical level and on an energetic level, which naturally starts to turn your energy field into we could literally say, a dark energy field. Okay, so I know you've probably heard concepts about the black flame. Okay, so the black flame is a dark energy field that manifests around your physical body. Okay, and it is exactly that. It manifests looking exactly like a black flame. Okay. Now, the real question is, what does the black flame actually do? How does it actually manifest in yourself? And how does it actually manifest in the world around you? What does it mean to have a black flame energy field? It doesn't matter if we just talk, oh yeah, I have a black flame. Yeah, I see a black flame around my energy field. This is the black flame. Have you heard about the black flame? This is what the black flame, looks like. It's like we could talk about all these different avenues of what it looks like. I have it, I opened it a couple days ago. But the real important stuff is to figure out, what does it actually do? What's the practical manifestation of what the black flame is doing to you and in your environments? Okay. And this is information a lot of people don't know. Okay. So the black flame is a part of Qlippothic initiation. You start to develop a black flame around your energy field naturally going into Qlippothic initiations because of the nature of the Qlippoth itself. But the black flame is as I said, it manifests looking like a black flame around your physical body. And the way it manifests in your environment is it starts to challenge other individuals. It starts to challenge people around you. And when I say challenge, what I mean is it will literally start to manifest situations and circumstances that will cause other individuals in your environment to have to face areas of their own unconscious and subconscious. And those areas that they're going to be challenged to face are going to be what's necessary for them to further evolve. Okay? So the nature of the black flame itself is extremely evolutionary, just like the Qlippoth is. Now, once again, when you're starting to initiate in the Qlippoth and you start to develop the black flame around your energy field, and if you're someone who's a psychic, you can see it. I can see it around myself and around other people that are Qlippothic initiates or real black magicians. And once again, it will manifest physically around you in challenging other individuals. It will offer a challenge to them. It will offer a catalyst to them. You could literally think of it in a unique way that's accustomed to that specific individual. Okay, so naturally you may notice you start hanging out with a certain group of people. Let's say you're used to hanging out with this group of people and they're your normal social circle, and then you start getting into Qlippothic initiations, and next thing you know, there's all this random drama that starts happening within your social circle, or there's all these problems that start manifesting with all your friends, and it's just out of nowhere, right when you decided to start initiating within the Qlippoth. And the reason why this takes place is because, once again, the Qlippoth is a catalytic evolutionary process. The black flame carries destructive qualities it carries Qlippothic energies, dark energies, negative energies, and it will naturally emanate in your environment from your energy field onto other individuals. Now, is this a bad thing? Absolutely not. As I discussed a few seconds ago, this offers those individuals an opportunity to use the black flame coming from your energy field to further evolve themselves. So you will literally find yourself in an experience oftentimes, if you do have the black flame, where you cannot connect with people that are not evolving on their own evolutionary journey. You just literally, there will be no sense of connection. You will feel no intuition, no resonance to other people who are not evolving on their evolutionary journey for most of the times. Now, I'm not saying that other people don't matter or you can't learn from other people, but what I'm really saying is that if you're trying to establish like a very profound relationship with somebody or a strong friendship with somebody, you're not going to be able to do it to a deep level or to a profound degree. The more you have your black flame developed and the more someone is resisting their evolutionary growth. Okay, and this is a fact, and this is a benefit that you gain within the Qlippoth. And the reason why is because the black flame itself, literally, you could think of it as being this flame where other beings can't get close to you. They can't attach to you unless they're evolving on their evolutionary journey, which naturally prevents the wrong relationships, the wrong types of people from coming into your life, or you not even knowing necessarily consciously, where you may just like somebody, you may think someone's nice, and you may try to be friends with them, but you start to realize the more you're friends with them, the more you start getting distracted from your own evolutionary growth. And this is what happens to a lot of people who are not into real black magic or who are not into Qlippothic initiation, things in that nature. People get caught in relationships and in social circles and friendships and even acquaintances where their own relationships, their own connections with other people are literally holding them back because they're getting so comfortable with all these other people. And obviously, with every single person you come in contact with, that person's going to have their own reality. They're going to have their own universe within. They're going to have their own perception on how the world works and what's going on with things. And most of the times, that perception in other individuals is a little bit altered. It's a little bit skewed. It's a little bit inverted. That's why the majority of the mass collective is basically like a bunch of people who don't know what's going on, pointing the finger at the government when no one's taking responsibility in their own hands and stepping into their own power. So once again, the benefit that you gain within the Qlippoth is you develop the black flame, and from the black flame, it literally will only allow you to connect with the right individuals that you need to at the time that you're supposed to connect with them. And when it comes a point in time when you're no longer supposed to be connected with an individual, your intuition will let you know very clearly, and the black flame will start to, we could say, destroy that connection between the relationship. So if the other individual is not evolving on their evolutionary path, and you're trying to still connect with them, and they're still trying to connect with you, yet they're not evolving, and you clearly are trying to evolve, then something naturally will manifest that will end that relationship, or that will cause certain types of situations and circumstances where you no longer are able to see that person or be in touch with that person. And ultimately, this is extremely beneficial, and this is extremely valuable for you as the real black magician or Qlippothic initiate, because you're cutting out the bullshit. You're cutting out the fat that doesn't need to be on the meat. Okay, you're cutting out everything that you don't need in your life that is ultimately going to serve the reality that you're trying to create based on your evolutionary process. Everything can get cut out. Okay, now obviously, this is why the Qlippothic initiatory path, or the real black magician's path, is a more isolated and a more lonely path. Okay, we're dealing with these darker energies. Guess what? is a dark planetary energy dealing with these similar influences. Saturn. Okay, there's a reason why Saturn is directly associated with Satan. Okay, Saturn is associated with isolation, restriction, death, okay, order, discipline, structure. These are all things that as a real black magician or as a Qlippothic initiate, we are constantly being influenced by. We're being influenced by these darker energetic planets, but naturally, we are turning these planets into power. We're turning these planetary energies within ourselves to our own power. So naturally, when you find yourself more isolated and unable to connect with just the average headless chicken in the world today, then you're naturally going to be more open-minded to who are you? What are you? What's happening in the world around you? Why are people behaving the way they're behaving? When you do connect with someone, the connection is going to be a lot more meaningful. There's going to be a lot more substance to it because you recognize you're talking to another person who has an evolutionary purpose, and their evolutionary purpose may also have an effect on your evolutionary growth. They may have a certain piece of knowledge or a certain type of communication or just energetic emanation that you need for your next step on your evolution. Okay, for your evolution, I should say. So your life becomes a lot more serious. Your life becomes a lot more disciplined. And when I say your life becomes a lot more serious, what I mean in that sense, I don't mean in a stressed out way. I mean more serious as in you start to realize you're here to evolve. And as long as you're doing things that are in alignment with your evolution and you're listening to your intuition and you're allowing yourself time to process these energies, you will gain the benefits and you will gain the power from these energies. Okay, so that's one of the benefits. One of the other benefits of Qlippothic initiation is the building up and the strengthening of the black flame. Okay, obviously, the deeper you go into the Qlippothic tree, the stronger that black flame becomes. Okay, now let's go into one last benefit. Okay, one last benefit of the Qlippoth is if you successfully are processing Qlippothic energies, initiatory energies. Keep that in mind. You know, I'm starting this off with if you are successfully processing Qlippothic energies, because trust me, there are a lot of people that have initiated and have entered into the Qlippoth and have not successfully processed the energies, and they have no physical results to show for it. So you can obviously tell. You know, for individuals that have no physical results, no kingdoms, no real life physical kingdoms to show through the principle of as within, as without, their internal kingdom manifesting their external kingdom. If they don't have the kingdom, or if they don't have the temple, so to speak, then they are not as highly advanced as they might think they are, or as they might say they are, if they are someone who is a real black magician or Qlippothic initiate. Because I'll tell you from personal experience, when I was initiating through the Qlippoth, I was in the Qlippoth for about 2 full years, taking my initiations very seriously, busting my ass in the real world, having crazy real life experiences, and I didn't have a kingdom to show for it for 2 whole years. Okay, I kept my head down. I didn't have anything. I didn't have financial freedom. I didn't have the finances I wanted. You know, it was a challenging, tough experience for 2 full years. And I was doing YouTube videos at the time. I was making content. You know, you can even go through my YouTube channel and you can literally see, if you scroll down, videos that I was making when I was in Qlippothic initiations, like when I was in the midst of it. And I was still working a full-time job on the side. And I had a roommate in my apartment building, and I still did, you know, my ritualistic practices. I still did my invocations. I still spent my time and energy developing myself. And I did that for 2 full years, making content, doing all these things, knowing it was leading to something, but physically I had nothing to show for it. And I had to accept that within myself. I knew I was initiating. I knew I don't have anything to show because I'm in the process of developing the power. Okay, but for people that are advanced occultists, like where I'm at now. And obviously there's a lot more evolution that I have, but I definitely am more advanced than the average occultist. And I would also 100% consider myself an advanced occultist. If I didn't, I wouldn't have said it. For these individuals, we are financially free, okay? This is the initiatory pathway when it comes to the Qlippoth of service to self, okay? Guess who else is service to self? Types of archetypes and individuals. Doesn't mean they're high-level Qlippothic initiates, but they definitely know how to work with Qlippothic energies. We're going to be talking about real estate investors, successful real estate investors, okay? People that are CEOs of companies, okay? People that do not have bosses. These are going to be people that know how to work with Qlippothic energies and know how to work with them and process them, okay? Now, naturally, if you're a magician, a real black magician or a real Qlippothic initiate, and you're going through your initiatory journey, working towards completing the entirety of the tree, if you're processing the energies properly and you're giving yourself time and energy, taking it very seriously, taking your evolutionary growth very seriously, but also being patient and being consistent with your practices and things of that nature, when you finish, you are guaranteed to have some sort of financial freedom, okay? You are guaranteed to literally have power in the physical plane that most people never will have the opportunity to touch in this lifetime, okay? In this incarnation, so to speak. And it can take people many thousands of years to come to this perspective to have, successful full initiation within the Qlippoth. So the point that I'm trying to make is that if you're someone who is initiating through the Qlippoth and you know what you're doing and you're being consistent with it, you're also giving yourself patience and you're being receptive throughout your journey, okay? Learning what it is that you need to learn within yourself and outside of yourself. At the end of that journey, I promise you are guaranteed physical success, okay? And there's some profound principles as to why that is. For myself, as I said, when I was in my Qlippothic initiations, I knew subconsciously the entire time it was going to lead to some sort of freedom and success. I knew it. I just knew it. It's one of the reasons why I built a YouTube channel and started posting videos. And I did that for 2 years. I made nothing. No money whatsoever for 2 years, consistently releasing content. And I did it because it's a part of my evolution. I wasn't doing it for the money. I did it because I knew I was building something. I knew I was building something in regards to an empire. And as I said, through the principle of as within, as without, that meant something for my evolution. Okay, but sure enough, the moment I finished my Qlippothic initiations, a couple months after, okay, so I knew when I finished my Qlippothic initiations, there was signs in my environment. And because I was so receptive at the end of my Qlippothic initiations, I was able to read the signs. And I also know the Kabbalistic tree, and I could see the archetypal influences that I was experiencing towards the end phase of my initiations as well. So I could see all the archetypal influences, the planetary connections associated with them. I just saw signs that I was coming to a completion, okay? And about 2 months after that completion phase, this is when my Patreon took off. This is when my business started to grow. This is when I started to get the physical manifestation of the journey that I went through in regards to my personal Qlippothic initiatory journey. Once again, through the principle of as within, as without. Once I completed that entire alchemical, energetic initiatory process, my physical environment started to manifest in a similar way. And once again, the Qlippoth and the nature of the Qlippoth is service to the self, okay? So obviously, in my reality, I have no manager. I have no boss. I have no supervisor. I do what I want to do when I want to do it, and I love what I do, and I continuously make content offering value in regards to other people's evolutionary processes, and I gain the value from it as well because I'm offering the value, and as I'm offering evolutionary value, people receive it. I gain the value from source as well, okay? And if you don't receive it, it is what it is, at the end of the day. Once again, yeah, if you don't receive it, It is what it is. You know, you had the opportunity, and I gain value from that as well. You know, I gain just as much value from people who understand what I'm talking about and use it to their advantage. I gain just as much value from those types of people to people who hear what I say and then choose to go the other routes. Because once again, the nature of a real black magician and a real Qlippothic initiate is we thrive on dark energy. Okay, this is why I'm a Universe.B vampire. I'm a real Universe.B vampire. And this is why vampires literally rule the world today. I mean, I know you've heard about the conspiracies. I know you've heard about, you know, the top that control the entire planet are diabolical, evil people that want to spread pain and suffering. And it's a lot more complicated than that. There's a lot more evolution that's missing out. There's a lot more evolutionary processes that's missing out from these mainstream conspiracies. But there is a truth to the fact that, yes, the top of the planet, so to speak, the people that control this multiverse on this planet, we do thrive on dark energies like pain, suffering, fear, anxiety. But that doesn't mean that we don't experience these emotions as well. It's just that we know how to use these emotions even within ourselves and turn it into our own power, literally sucking in the energy from our own pain, our own anxiety, and our own fear, transmuting it, turning it into power and potential. Okay, that's the big difference. Okay, the big difference is we transmute dark energy and we thrive with dark energy and we love it. Okay, just like a black hole in space, sucking in all that dark energy, sucking in all that chaos. Okay, that's literally how we are. And then you have the other group of people, the majority, which are all pointing the finger saying they're the bad guys. They're the ones that did this to me. You know, it's all their fault. Meanwhile, they're sitting at home, feet kicked back. They go off their 9 to 5. They feel comfortable, have a beer, hang out with a bunch of other people that think the exact same way and are not choosing to step outside of their comfort zone, not doing anything different. Okay, this is the big difference. But once again, that's what I'm talking about. That is 100% what starts to take place in regards to Qlippothic initiation. You start to become powerful in that sense where you know how to work and you know how to use dark energies properly. And because of that, you create physical, real life, valuable manifestation. Okay, you literally can create a physical reality that is extremely, we could say, desirable. Okay, and it's all because there are energetic, we could say, astral principles that have to do with the two poles, positive and negative. And when you utilize the negative pole on the astral plane, you can create positive results. Okay. I have a video on my Patreon that speaks about this concept in a lot more depth. And for those of you that are Patreons that are watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's literally a video where it describes one of the biggest occult secrets on how to produce and how to create wealth, physical wealth. Okay. And it was a cryptid message within one of these books by Kenneth Grant, and I uncoded it and I teach it on my Patreon, and it really does work. And I do it all the time. Okay. There's a reason why my Patreon is so successful. And once again, there's a reason why people like me that are real black magicians, that are real Qlippothic initiates, real ones, and also people that use Qlippothic energies in general. They may not even be occultists. They may not even be black magicians or Qlippothic initiates, yet they know how to use Qlippothic energies because they're the types of people that put themselves in situations and circumstances that naturally open up Qlippothic doorways. And even, we could say, subconsciously open up Qlippothic initiatory experiences. Experiences. And these types of individuals that know how to work with those darker energies because they opened it up, or they choose to get out of their comfort zone, or they just grew up in a reality where it was thrown at them and they had to learn how to process it or else they were going to die. These are always going to be the individuals that have the most physical success, the most real life worldly power, okay, in regards to the physical plane. And this is a guaranteed benefit that you get if you successfully make it through the entirety of the Qlippoth. Now, once again, the reality is this is actually what lures most people into the Qlippoth. Okay, think of it like a light at night, and you have all those little moths that are floating around looking at the light, and sometimes that light is really hot and one of those moths might get too close and get burned, fried to a crisp. Okay, the reality is with the Qlippoth, when it comes to the Qlippoth, for the individuals that know about it and that decide, oh, you know, I'm spiritual, I think I can do this, I think I have the awareness and knowledge to jump into something like this, I want, you know, most of these individuals do jump in because they hear this type of information that I'm sharing in regards to physical wealth, you know, power. You know, it sounds straightforward, it sounds clean and cut, but a lot of these individuals have no idea the types of experiences and the challenges they're about to enter into and open up for themselves if they do get into Qlippothic initiations. And I think this is something that is so misunderstood by many people that are in the spiritual community, because first of all, there's not much information about the Qlippoth. There's not much information about working with the demonic aspects of spiritual evolution. And that's one thing. There's not much information with that alone. But even in that sense, for the people that do have information about it, it's not really talked about how dangerous it actually is, how much people really fuck themselves over going into it. And once again, I'm not trying to say this to stop you from doing that. Truly, you listening to this, I don't care if you enter into the Qlippoth and fail, because once again, I'm a successful initiate. I'm a successful real black magician. So regardless, I'm going to gain the power from it, okay? Whether you win or lose. But the point is that if I'm going to be playing my evolutionary role properly, I have to at least give that really solid perspective, especially with a video like this where I'm talking about the benefits of the Qlippoth. I have to at least balance that out with saying, yes, there are a lot of benefits. These things are true and they have manifested. I have proof for it in my life and my experience. I have seen people in regards to my life too that have entered into the Qlippoth and have failed. Even when I was in my Qlippothic journey, when I was in my journey, there was people that wanted to join in with me essentially, and they didn't succeed in their journey. And I don't even know where they're at anymore. Okay, it's bad. Okay, we're talking about psych wards, mental hospitals, mental breakdown, all these things. And I dealt with this myself. Like, these energies are no joke. Okay, but if you're serious and you're willing to die to learn these things, these principles, these cosmic laws in regards to the darker evolutionary sciences, then this is obviously the path for you. But once again, with a video like this, you need and you have to be aware of how serious these initiations are. Okay, now if you have what it takes and you want to try it out, by all means, go ahead. Okay, but these are the benefits. These are the general benefits, and there's many, many, many more that you can gain within the Qlippoth. Okay, so that's where I'm going to leave it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this type of content and you feel like it offered you value, why would you not hit the thumbs up button? Go ahead and hit the thumbs up. Then come down here and hit the notification bell, because I post videos as often as I can. And with content like this, you don't want to be missing out, especially when you hit that notification bell. You'll get notified when I post. So oftentimes, I will literally post something that's tapped into the subconscious and unconscious of my viewers who are subscribed to my YouTube channel because they're linked in. And what I post will actually be what it is that you were thinking about. Okay? So if you want to take advantage of it, literally get notified when I post. Click the bell. Okay? The next thing is obviously come down and hit the subscribe button. That should be a no-brainer at this point. If you really want to gain the most value out of this content, link in further by hitting subscribe. We'll leave that there. Ladies and gentlemen, you have my full permission to copy and paste this link and send it out to anyone, family, friends, social media platforms. You have my full permission. My intention is to spread this content like a wildfire to continue building my empire. And that's exactly what it's been doing. So let's continue to do that. Okay. The next thing I want to say is come down right here, add me on Instagram, JER_477, super easy to type in, and check me out on social media platforms. See what I do over there. Okay, I post unique things. Okay, the next thing is if you would like to gain access to a private Facebook community, private, not for everybody, private. You click the YouTube description drop down arrow, scroll down a bit. Eventually, you're going to come across a post that says private Facebook group. Underneath that post, there's a link. Click the link, follow where the link takes you. It will eventually take you to a place where you can request to join within the private Facebook community, okay? In the private Facebook community, there's about 450 members at this point. It's active on a daily basis, and people are posting very valuable content within this private Facebook community, okay? I will literally attest to this myself. I gain value from my own community, which I love, okay? I love it. So yeah, if you want to take advantage of it, you know where to go, okay? Next thing I want to say, this is the most important thing, actually, by the way. When we go into the YouTube description, click the drop down. The first link at the top, okay, this is what I'm taking your awareness to. This is my Patreon, okay? On my Patreon, I have an entire vault of exclusive occult content. None of this content is on my public YouTube channel. None of it is here publicly for free, okay? And that's for many different reasons. There's a lot of stuff in regards to my content. Some of the stuff is just not appropriate for YouTube, and a large portion of it is just not appropriate for YouTube on energetic levels, okay? So once again, the information's more personal, it's more advanced. I have content in the form of live streams, blog posts, and videos that are very similar to this, just different, more advanced, more personal, okay? Then as you go into tier 3 and up, you're gaining access to an entire magic training course, which would be extremely valuable, especially if you're a beginner occultist and you're looking for a structured format to follow to start developing your psychic capabilities, okay? Tier 3 and up for the magic training course. Then as you go into tier 4, this is the top tier, most popular tier on the entirety of the Patreon, okay? This is what's called the Universe.B Vampire Service, okay? Now on this tier, I perform a service called the Universe.B Vampire Service on the 29th of every single month that has a 29th. 29th because 2 plus 9 equals 11, which is the 11th sphere on the Kabbalistic tree, which represents death, which creates 100% manifestation, okay? Everything about this is ritualistic, and this is the only service that I perform anywhere and for anyone, okay? So on all the participants, I perform this service to permanently change the energetic structure of those participants, okay? So I change their energy field to be more so Universe.B dominant, okay? What this means is that these individuals now have the ability to exist in the darker areas of the multiverse, the dark energy locations of the multiverse, without being harmed by them, but rather developing knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and ultimately power from them instead. So physically and on an internal level, this gives you the ability to be more so receptive to your unconscious and your subconscious mind, which is feminine in nature. And it also gives you the psychic capability to start pulling in dark energy and chaos in your environment and then transmute it into your own power and evolutionary potential, okay? If this is something you want to take advantage of, come down, first link in the YouTube description, tier 4. We're going to leave it there. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I want to give a special shout out to all of you who are listening to this now, and I know a lot of you are here. All of you who are Patreon members, you get a special shout out if you're a Patreon member, because I know you're investing extra into your own evolutionary growth, and that's always going to be acknowledged by me. So special shout out to all of you specifically for taking your knowledge, your practices, and your studies to that other side. Huge shout out to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the next thing I want to say, second link in the YouTube description, take your awareness right down there right now, okay? This is where you can book your own personalized tarot card reading from me. Now, in this tarot card reading, I can literally pinpoint exactly where you are on the Kabbalistic tree because I'm a professional occultist who understands the Kabbalistic tree way more than the average individual. So as I said, I can pinpoint where you are on that Kabbalistic tree, and I can tell you what you're going through, experiencing, and feeling in your present moment, and then what to expect moving into your near and your long-term future based on your position and your traveling through the Kabbalistic tree, okay? If this is something you want to take advantage of, second link below is how you can do it. I've done well over 500 readings at this point. I do a reading almost every single day. I get tons of valuable feedback. Once again, if you want to take advantage of it, you know exactly what to do. Second link below. We'll leave it there. third link below, ladies and gentlemen. Go to the third link. You can click the third link. Then it will take you to where you can join as a YouTube member, okay? So as you join and become a YouTube member, you immediately gain access to a whole bunch of benefits. Your name has a special occult badge next to it that changes within a month to the vampire symbol. You get special shout outs when I do live streams. You have the ability to leave a question that appears in the same format as a super chat every month that I do live streams as well, okay? But most importantly, you have access to what I call the Psychic Warfare Emoji Program. Okay, so what this means is that as soon as you become a YouTube member, you're gaining access to a sequence of emojis that have been designed by me that are based on occult principles that can be used in a certain configuration, and then you link in the name of a target of your choice, an enemy, so to speak, and then you hit enter, and it manifests, the energy travels through the metaverse, and then finds its way into the multiverse, and actually causes psychic damage to the target you linked in, okay? So, with that being said, there are over 1,000, well over 1,000 posts where individuals are using this Psychic Warfare emoji program, okay? There are even individuals in this moment that are doing it right now, using it, and there are other individuals that are YouTube members that are thinking about doing it, and they're about to do it probably in the next hour or 2 hours or 30 minutes, who knows, okay? So the point is, it's an active system. People are really taking advantage of it. If you would like to as well, third link in the YouTube description, we're gonna leave it there, become a YouTube member. Okay, then as you go into the fourth link below, this is the last link. This is where you can buy your 50-pack bundle of EMF incense sticks. These are electromagnetic frequency incense sticks that have been created by me. Okay, everything about these incense sticks are very different and unique than your traditional incense sticks. I put in 11 real drops of monatomic gold that literally is different than any other incense producer that you'll ever see and find. Okay, I don't know any other incense sticks that carry real monatomic gold in the sticks themselves. Okay, so these are pre-packaged energetic sticks. Once again, if you want to take advantage of getting your hands on a 50-pack bundle, then just place your order. The sooner you place your order, the sooner I can have them shipped out to you. Okay, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day or night, wherever you are, and I will see you in the very near future. Peace.